About time you two returned.
Good grief, dude.
He needs a medic.
I see you didn't retrieve the crates, which means you failed your mission.
Can't stand this guy.
I said, help him.
I think Crosshair's
Certainly not.
I
That
hope
would be
so.
a waste of the Empire's resources.
He'll die.
Oh. Wait. Oh no. That's such a brutal way to
served
go.
his
After he
purpose
got to people who
as
thought
a
would help him.
soldier of the Empire.
Unbelievable.
You could have saved him.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. He is expendable.
He's trying to get shit.
Dude, he is, man. My word.
And if you
Seems
speak to me
insufferable.
again with such disrespect,
Lieutenant.
Please shoot him.
Deservedly so.
Yes. Thank goodness, dude. He can't die.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, they won't kill him. This feels eerie, kind of similar to like the end of season 7.
Yeah.
almost. Like the music and stuff.
Hello, CT9904.
This is so.
Or do you prefer Crosshair?
Isn't she from last episode?
Where am I?
I'm holding you for observation. Once you've healed, the doctor will come for you.
Who are you?
No.
Remain calm. Cooperate, and you might survive.
This is very Among Us. Welcome back to BoomShot. I'm Colby, and this is Micah, our resident Star Wars expert. And we're here to react to Bad Batch and give our initial reactions.
Boom, you looking for this?
So what did you think of this episode?
Man, this show has a lot of filler in it, but
It does.
the episodes that aren't filler, man, they're absolute bangers.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think the 2 episodes with Rex were honestly some of my favorite episodes of any Star Wars we've gotten. And this one was really good, too, as a standalone episode. I guess it won't... I mean, they'll follow up with this, but I guess if it was, like, back-to-back, they maybe would have dropped 2 in a row. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm excited for the end of this season. I think it's starting to pick up. I mean, like I said, the episodes that have been good have just been amazing. Like some of the best Star Wars we've seen. Those 2 episodes with Rex and Senator Chuchi, and then this one, and then the early episode with Cody and Crosshair and Cody. Yeah, that one was amazing.
And there were some more good ones in there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, anything... Is this only the 2nd episode with Crosshair?
Yes, I think so. Him and Cody in that, I think the 2nd or 3rd one of the season, and then this one.
That's just crazy, man. Yeah, I think it was the 3rd episode because they released 2 at once.
That's right. Yep.
But yeah, I just want more Crosshair. I hope he's in pretty much the rest of the season.
You can tell, and I think they've done a good job of showing this since he was basically left on that platform at Tapoka City till now. You can just tell he's second guessing everything.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've only gotten him in 2 episodes, but
Yeah.
with Cody kind of questioning like what they were doing, it kind of like set that spark back in him. And then this, I mean, the lieutenant was just trashing the clones. So
I think at the end of that episode where it was him that shot that governor, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember off the top of my head, and Cody wouldn't do it.
Right.
And then at the end when he asked Admiral Rampart about Cody, and then Admiral Rampart's kind of like, well, he said something about going MIA or something like that.
Yeah.
And it made him start questioning everything, like Cody was saying in that entire episode. And then now Mayday's kind of... So Cody kind of planted the seed, and now Mayday kind of watered.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And shout out to our boy Mayday.
Dude, my word.
Rest in peace.
He may be my favorite clone of all time. I mean, he was amazing.
He was a legend in this episode. And the way he died, we touched on it in the reaction. Yeah, it was just brutal.
It was.
He fought all that way, and Crosshair carried him all that way. And he's using his gun as a crutch. Yeah. And he finally gets there. And he tells all of the other... Well, I guess they're not clones. He tells all the troopers to go away. And then he goes up there and he's like, nah, he should just die.
Yeah.
He's of no use.
And then questions like, why don't y'all have the crates? It took y'all this long to get back. This, that, and the other. And on top of all that, I thought it was awesome how in the beginning, Crosshair says, why would you carry dead weight? And Mayday's like, remind me not to die with you. Yeah. And then, which was good comedic relief at the time. And then at the end, Crosshair does everything he can to save his life, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah, and it comes to fruition. He dies right there next to him, the only person on that base that cares about him at that point.
Exactly, yeah.
And at the time, it seemed like Crosshair would just let him die.
Yeah, and when the avalanche happened, I'm pretty sure Mayday pushed him to safety.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah, it gives me chills, dude.
I know, it was awesome.
I love this episode, and it's we're really starting to see our boy Crosshair come back to his roots.
So I think he's gonna find a way to reach out to the Batch, and they're gonna save him.
Yeah, it seems like they're on a crash course because we last saw the Bad Batch, run into the Zillow Beast and what was going on with cloning there. Yeah, and now it seems he's at that cloning facility. Right?
Yeah, it's all gonna come together, and which I think it's awesome. I can't wait for it. So I just have so many questions. Like, for one, why are they working on him? Like, what does he have to do with anything? And then the Zillow Beast, we know what they want with the Zillow Beast, but I feel like there's a little bit more behind it than just the armor plating. Yeah. And then how does that all tie in with the sequel trilogy, which I kind of think is headed that way? Yeah. Because in Mando, in the first season of Mando, they had Dr. Pershing, and he had that same emblem that she has on Wayland. Yeah. And it has all to do with cloning. I think it's kind of going that way.
Yeah, dude, that would be sick. I hope they kind of go that route and explain a lot of things that were kind of like what just happened moments in the sequels.
Yeah, exactly. I get the vibes of like everybody hated the prequels when they came out, and then they kind of used Clone Wars to tie it all in, which it did, and now everybody appreciates the prequels more.
That's true, man. So, I could see a case like that happening. I mean, for a while, everybody was like, and myself included, was like, okay, there's no redemption here. Yeah. But people back then were probably saying the same thing.
About the prequels. Yeah, exactly. Just give Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau the keys, dude.
That's facts. And we've seen what they've done already. And I know that this show has had a lot of filler. Yeah. But episodes like this make it all worth it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, when they drop the good episodes, it's some of the best Star Wars content we've ever seen. Yeah. In my humble opinion.
I agree. And what were you gonna say?
And then on top of that, like, the animation in this show is just absolutely gorgeous, dude.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Like, don't hate me, viewers, but I'm not even going to lie. I would rather see Mando in this sort of animation than live action. I'm not even kidding.
Dude, I would rather see myself in this kind of animation.
Dude, it's amazing. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Like, the detail and everything, man.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, when they're in that blizzard and stuff. Yeah. I mean, it you could almost see the individual snow particles.
Yeah, you could see every little snowflake, and then it would go onto their blasters. It's just amazing.
Yeah, this is some of the best animation I think that's ever been put on screen.
I agree.
But I think what's interesting is at the end of last episode, right? Nala Se, the Prime Minister said that Nala Se's only weakness was Omega. Right?
Omega, yeah.
So maybe they're trying to use Crosshair to like lure the Bad Batch in or something.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I didn't think about that. Yeah, because he would know about Omega. Yeah, and he'll likely get interrogated by, I can't remember the doctor's name off the top of my head, but he'll likely get interrogated by him.
Yeah, so maybe that's what happens. Maybe that's how they run into each other. I could see a scenario where Crosshair redeems himself in a dying fashion.
I was literally just thinking that, like, to save Omega and the Batch.
I know. I hope it doesn't. That'd be absolutely brutal. It would be brutal. I hope it doesn't happen. At least not this season. Yeah. Because I would say this season it would be a good time for him to die a hero's death. Yeah. But we've only seen him in 2 episodes.
I know.
I feel like if we'd seen him more, then it would feel more justified in my eyes.
Yeah, and I'm starting to come around to his character as well. Like,
yeah, that's true.
In season 2 or season 1, technically, it was hard to like him, because he was such a butthole. But now he's like starting to understand and see all these things. He was just kind of blinded.
Yeah.
And so, also, just I know this is off topic, but even the first episode of season 1 was some of the best Star Wars content I've ever seen. I wanted to put that out.
It was
there.
like an hour long, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like an hour and like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that.
We saw Caleb Dune.
Yeah.
As a youngling. Yeah, it was cool. This show, I don't know if they've confirmed a season 3. I hope they do. I feel like this story deserves more.
Yeah.
And especially if they don't kill Crosshair, I'd like to see him back with the Batch.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that Echo went off with Rex.
Mm-hmm.
What if they gave us like a little sideshow with them two? That'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
Like a shorts thing, like Tales of the Jedi with just them two, the tales of Echo and Rex or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
This episode was great. What would you give it out of 10?
I mean, I can't find much to fault it for.
Yeah, there's really nothing wrong with it.
I mean, the show's called The Bad Batch, and it didn't have the Bad Batch in it. But I mean, it did have Crosshair, who was a part of the Bad Batch. So, I mean, you gotta have that because they set him up as the villain going into the season. But now it looks like he's gonna end up saving him, in some sort of way. And whether or not he lives remains to be seen. But I think they're gonna end up meeting again.
Yeah, I hope they do, and we know that the Batch, especially Omega, are going to try and welcome him back.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he's either going to end up back on the team or die, sadly.
I agree.
Or happily. It's one of two ways in my mind.
I also want to know what happened to Cody.
Oh, no, dude.
There's no way they killed him off screen.
See, this is kind of this is my headcanon right now. Echo and Rex are off doing their own thing, and maybe they find Cody.
Yeah.
And they take the chip out of him or something. We could see that in their own little show that I'm pitching.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. But
I love clones, dude.
I know. We need more clones. We need more Cody.
Yeah.
Cody was in one episode.
And he was really good in that episode. Like, people hated him. Well, I've always liked Cody. He's always had a special place in my heart.
That's facts.
Mainly because I've been always an Obi-Wan stan. But, like, anyway, so... Prior to that episode, people just absolutely hated him, and understandably so for what he did in Revenge of the Sith. But in that episode, he just seemed so much more free-minded.
It's true.
And more reasonable, and he saw what the Empire was for,
Yeah.
And he played a huge role in kind of turning Crosshair.
That is true, and it can't be the last we see of him.
No, there's no way.
Until Rex, he was probably the biggest clone in Star Wars. The biggest name. So, I just don't see them killing him off screen.
There's no way.
So he's got to be missing, and he's got to pop up somewhere, whether this show or the Echo and Rex. No, dude. In my mind, that would be sick, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to the last 4 episodes.
Yeah.
And I hope they're all kind of following this episode, like what happened after this, what happened after the last episode with the Batch, and they all run into a head with the last 4.
I think it's all going to pick up. I mean, what episode was this? 12th or something like that?
Yeah, 12. I think we have 4.
So there's 4 left, and I think they're going to release the last 2 at once, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So, or either the next 2 or the last 2, one or the other, or the middle 2. I have no clue. I know that there are going to be 2 more released at once. So the 2 episodes they released with Rex, I mean, they were awesome episodes too, so I expect the 2 they released together to be really good episodes as well.
Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, I do remember seeing that now on the release schedule. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that gives me a lot of hope for the last 4, especially those 2.
Yes, just please let them be... Yeah, please let them be bangers.
Yeah, so... you have any last thoughts? Any predictions? I'm going to say that just because I predicted the Zillow Beast on accident.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, it was on purpose, but it shot in the dark.
Yeah, that was awesome. But, I mean, yeah, just like I said earlier, I think they're going to all come together again. I think he'll find a way to communicate with them. Or, like you mentioned earlier, the Doctor will interrogate him and the Prime Minister and Odyssey. And, I mean, the Prime Minister and Odyssey will know about their connection with Omega. So he'll put that together. And and then they'll somehow meet up, or he'll communicate with them. And then I really have had this feeling since, I guess it was the end of season 1 of Mando, or 2, where they're on Moff Gideon's ship. It's 2, and they see the humanoids in the back to Tank and Dr. Pershing. I think it's all going to come together with cloning.
Oh yeah,
for the sequel trilogy. I think so. I think that's kind of how they're tying it all in, filling in the holes.
Yeah, I hope they. I wonder. I guess maybe in Mando, it is probably where they're gonna bring it all together because that's the biggest show. So yeah. But this could lead into Mando, which would be sick. I mean, they're not afraid to tie animation in with live action.
Yeah, they're 2 different eras for sure. One's at the beginning of the rise of the Empire, and one's at the end of the fall of the Empire. So, but I still think it'll all tie together somehow.
Yeah, I mean it's got to. I mean, there's just something with this cloning going on, and maybe they had to do it more behind the scenes when the Empire fell, and but maybe we'll see like the beginning of it. Bad Batch or something, and the product of it in Mando, and then where it eventually results in the sequel. So
yeah, for sure, I'm excited.